and roasted oak spirits before adding orange, cherry, and a
We're on the air
notch
now.
of bitters flavoring, remarkably reminiscent, yet surprisingly unique.
Hello, Louisiana Beer Reviews. We're examining a product from New Belgium, Brewing,
Called the
Oakspire. Let me see this.
Oakspire.
Special release Oakspire. Now, I had the Oakspire when it originally came out, and it was, they said they took spirals from oak barrels, like they cut them to make little spirals of wood from the bourbon, and they put that in the beer. They didn't put the beer in the bourbon barrel, they put the bourbon barrel in the beer. So that was interesting. Old-fashioned bourbon barrel ale, 9%. So it's
There's a little story on the side. It doesn't say anything about sparrows or any spirals. It just says that they
Yeah.
used char.
says right here, ale aged on oak spirals
Okay.
and bourbon barrel char
Okay, there's another story on the other side. I
with
didn't see
orange
that.
extract. They didn't have all this when I tried it. Cherry and bitters flavor. Oh, you said it's like an old fashioned.
Yeah, well, there's another story on the other side. It's kind of lengthy. You got the executive summary.
Simple and classic execution of the old fashioned. We mature an amber ale on bourbon barrel. Okay.
Right. Basically, it says the same thing, just more wordy.
I gotta go get my bottle of Sazerac Rye. They claim on the Sazerac Rye website, this is the perfect whiskey for making an old fashioned. And they claim they developed the old fashions.
Maybe they did. Who knows? All right, go on short again. Be on the short again.
Thing's been following me all day. You want to see helicopters? All right.
Let's go after Charlie. So, wow, that's a beautiful amber color.
It is.
Wow. So I would say that this is probably the base beer Fat Tire. They probably use Fat Tire to make this.
I hadn't thought of that. Makes sense. And it's all jacked up to 9.
Woo. Man, I could smell the bitters. Orange. Cherry. Man, it smells just like an old fashioned.
Well, when you brought this over, I had no idea this was on the market. Where'd you buy that?
I got this at Rouse's on Airline, the bar in Metairie.
I'm surprised.
It was just sitting there. They had like 2 6-packs. And I walked past it. I thought it was that Belgian white they had out for a while. And I looked and I was like, oh, that's not Belgian white. I was like, oh, I got to get that. Because, you know, these specialty, really good beers only come out so often. So, in these difficult times we're living in.
And you found that. Oh, and you know what's strange about Rouse's? I did a internet search for Schaefer Light, and they claim it's available there.
I've never seen it there.
Well, that's what they said on their website, but maybe Crescent Crown is incorrect. If they do have, you know what? I think they do have it now that I recall. It's in the cooler area. You know the cooler back there in the back where it's real.
Never seen it.
I think it's on that shelf by Schlitz in the 12 packs.
Never seen
Okay.
Schlitz there either.
Oh, they definitely have Schlitz. Okay.
All right.
It smells like an old fashioned.
Because you're there all the time. That's my neighborhood grocery
I
store.
go there like
Never
about
seen
4
it.
times a year.
Okay. I go there like maybe 2 times a week. I've never seen it.
Well, you just didn't look. All right.
Yeah, didn't look.
It does smell like all those things you described, the bitters and everything.
Oh man. You get that, and you get the bourbon char. You get the base beer.
When Tanya Makowski came here 2 years ago, we went to Abita, and they had
Wow.
a draft old-fashioned pale ale. It tasted kind of like this. I'm not a cocktail person. All right? I don't drink cocktails, but this does taste kind of like a.
It tastes like a cocktail with the beer backbone.
Yeah, instead of using whiskey.
Yeah.
Some people claim you can make a old-fashioned using brandy, a brandy old-fashioned
I just know it's a classic, iconic drink.
drink.
mix.
Yeah.
man, it's big. It tastes just like an old fashioned, but it's got depth and complexity and character to it.
It's got a little
Everything
bitterness from
everything
the
kind of
bitters.
goes. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna get bitterness from that. You're gonna get bitterness from char. Uh, Probably from whatever beer they use, which I'm assuming by the color if they used Fat Tire. And it's got the bicycle logo on it, so I would assume it's Fat Tire they used.
I don't know. Bourbon, barrel char, spirals, orange extract, which you can buy orange extract at a grocery store. Cherry. That wouldn't be too hard to use cherry. And bitters. I wonder if they're using Peychaud's bitters. All right, well, there's the Canadian National Railroad arriving. Medium bodied, pretty crisp finish, dry, tight finish. It's kind of more pleasant than a whiskey old fashioned because
Very
it's
good.
not so high alcohol.
Right. Yeah.
But they probably water them down to about 9%, honestly, I guess, when you're at the bar.
I'd say they probably water them down with everything. Probably gets to about 20 with the ice and all that.
I like to go to those fancy bars that are kind of nice, and I kind of like look over at what they've got that they're making mixed drinks with, and I'm like, oh, T.W. Samuels, okay.
So one
$9
day,
bottles. They're not using
one day, well, you'll have to come out to lunch for lunch with me over at Tessie's. They use Maker's Mark.
for their just
Old
without a
fashioned.
call. If you
Right.
just say make old fashioned, use Maker's Mark.
Yep. Makers.
Wow, because most places, if you don't specify, you know what you're getting.
I try to tell you where to go.
Go to
This
a
one
bar and
here.
say, I want a beam and Coke. Well, you're gonna get a beam, but it's gonna be what? Beam's 8-star.
Beam stuck in your eye.
Yeah, it's gonna be Beam's 8-star. It ain't gonna be Jim Beam Black.
Yeah. Not the toothpick, but the beam.
See what happens when you do a lot of beer reviews in one day. All right, it's really mellow.
Oh, this is great. It's fantastic. It's got every aspect of an old fashioned that you would want to have in it. It's married well. You can taste every flavor. There's no over bitterness. There's no over sweetness or anything. I think they did a fantastic job. I don't think they could have done better than what they've done with this.
No.
I'm going to rate it. I'm going to give it a 99.
A 99. Hey, y'all, it's time to get
99.
nice. I'm not
Do you
that
know
old.
anyone else that makes one of these?
Well, Abita has one, but it's at the brewery
Oh, okay.
and only on draft. Not at,
Well, yeah. We're not at the brewery and we're not on draft.
right, so it's not really
So-
a practical application.
It's kind of like that one beer you picked up
Presto,
from Trader
Presto.
Joe's that was that fermented thing.
Oh, the
And we tasted-
kombucha.
Yeah, and we didn't have anything to like compare it to.
And then you liked it.
I did like it, so you had to give it a favorable grade. With that said, this has a beer backbone, and
Now TJ's
it's got everything that it needs in it. So I would say it's still a 99 in my book.
and now Trader Joe's, from what I've been seeing, has a new winter ale. And I was thinking, man, I got to go over there and get that thing. That was a nice looking bottle. All right,
But are you gonna wait in line for 30 minutes to get in?
I'm not that excited
Get
about it.
ridiculed.
I'm very pleased with this product. I'm not going to go to 99 though, but I would say it is a 95. It is a most excellent product. I take no issue with it. What is the price point again for a single?
I don't recall.
About $3 a bottle, two.
Probably like 250.
So that's a good price. Because I bet this past week I paid a lot of money, and so far I'm not feeling so great about it. Based on my
Some
first,
marginal beer.
I wouldn't say marginal, but you know, it's like I paid Orange Bowl prices and I got an Independence Bowl experience. So
Well, I brought 2 beers over, and I'd have to say home run.
definite home run.
Home run on both. Grand slam even.
especially on the one we just had previous to this, Grand Slam. So
I
Lazy
say
Label.
both of them.
Oh, I said the one previous. We have a problem here. Is there a problem now?
All right, so maybe one's a triple.
All right, so Les Les Bon Ton Relais, great beers, at least the last two experiences, and well, that's how it works sometimes. And we're going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to southeastern Louisiana.
And if you see this one, get it. You won't be disappointed.
No.
Drink better beers.
Buy
kids.
it.